This content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. The Better Traders is not a broker dealer. We are not an investment advisor. We have no access to non-public information about publicly traded companies or cryptocurrencies. And this is not a place for the giving or receiving of financial advice, advice concerning investment decisions, or tax or legal advice. The value of investments and the income derived from them can go down as well as up. Investors may not get back the amount they invested, and past performance is not a guide to future performance. Hey guys, it's me, Manin Papa, and you are watching my live stream here on YouTube. Yes, it's live. So I hope everybody's doing well. Maybe you're not feeling super happy because there's a little bit of a pullback in the market. Maybe you are just stumbling on my channel and you just saw Bitcoin or crypto or all that stuff and you're not sure what's happening. I actually had a conversation with a fantastic trader by the name of Gareth Soloway a couple of weeks ago about the concept of what a bull trap is. So on my YouTube channel, if you go to videos, I keep referencing this just because it is what's happening right now. So this Bitcoin bull trap analysis with Gareth Soloway. Even though it's 3 weeks old, it's still gold because it is the perfect picture of what just happened over the last 24 hours. And something else that I knew because of one of the indicators that I use all the time. So before I get there, I do want to invite you to subscribe to my channel on YouTube if you enjoy this live stream. I have one every single week. Please feel free to give it a thumbs up. And you can also click this button to be notified of live streams that happen at this time, which is every Thursday at 11 a.m. Japan Standard Time, which is like East Coast time in North America, like New York and Miami. This would be what, 10 p.m. and that means it's like for Seattle and LA in the United States, it would be 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. So the market is doing exactly what I thought it would do, and it stinks to be right now. I don't want to be right. But anyway, let's go ahead and just jump right over and talk about the market. We're going to get to power in a second. Let's come over here first. Okay. So maybe you felt really giddy. Maybe you felt really excited because we saw this big move up and you thought, this is it. We're going up to 50K. I hope you didn't. I'm laughing because I think it's silly. But this is how it works though. This is the exact reason why, if you're not sure what I'm talking about and you're like, wait, what? I'm telling you, you just got to watch this video about Bitcoin bull traps, or bull traps in general. And to summarize that video, a bull trap is when there is bullish momentum and it looks great on the TBO. Honestly, it looks fantastic. But the problem with the bull trap is that they typically happen in a bear market. So there's nothing wrong with bullish upside momentum, but it's not going to be sustainable. In the same way that these little moves right here moved up and people got excited, but the price continued to fall. Even this, in essence, was a bull trap. It's a lot longer, but there are other things that play with this. There was an ascending channel here, rather a bear flag. So right now, we are in the same spot as we were back in here. We've gone back to Goblin Town, where there's just a ridiculous amount of chop. So let's talk about a couple of things. Goblins are fiction. No, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about chop. So chop is when you have sideways market movement. That's essentially when we're in a tight trading range, and that percentage could be anywhere between 5 and 8%. For crypto, that's really tight. For Bitcoin, it's extremely tight. And if we look at the chart, you're going to see that we have a really tight range. So that's 9% to the upside, but really we're just in this 5-6% range, and it's just going and going and going. It's brutal for trading if you're a trend trader. But if you're using the TBO on a faster time frame, like the hourly, I mean, you have your targets all set up right here. So what I'm saying is that you can use this indicator. Even though I have TBO Pro, I haven't modified it at all for these videos. Whenever I do this, these are just the default settings that everyone has access to for the courses and for the regular standard TBO. But you can see it clearly here. We have our resistance lines that are painted for us on the chart. We have our support lines that are painted. This is literally a game of ping pong going back and forth. It's great for trading, and even better for bot trading for 3 commas. I think it would work really well in this kind of range. So I don't think we're going to stay in this range forever. I do think that we're going to continue to the downside and we're going to fall a lot lower. How much lower? Well, my targets are about 25K and then a little over 20K. I've made lots of videos to explain why I think we're going to go down to 20K. But the easiest thing I can say, and there are 2 parts to this, are based on the TBO. Let me get the other, there we go, Bitstamp. Based on the TBO and based on RSI on the monthly. So let's talk about the TBO first. So we have a pattern. This should be rinse, repeat for a lot of you, and that's okay. I do not mind repeating quality information that's going to help you for what's going to be coming up next. So the pattern I'm talking about are these 2 blue diamonds on the TBO, which are closed shorts, the red X, which is crossed down, and the pink triangle pointing down, which is open short. This is a formula for a bear move. And ever since this has happened, well, let me move it a little bit higher. It's been pretty amazing. According to the TBO, we should be in 21% profit. If you can short 22%, 21% profits, pretty amazing. If you sold your BTC, then you can buy more at a 22% discount. I still think we're going lower. So let's look further back in the chart. 2 blue diamonds, 2 closed longs, red cross down, open short. This one was late because this was our black swan event for the COVID crash. And then here we go. This is, check the date, 2018. So 2 blue diamonds, red cross, open short, go sideways, crash. And it crashes about 56%. Let's go back another 4 years. Yes, we're going back way, way, way back to 2014. Now, because this chart is so fresh, we don't have any of those blue diamonds, but we do have a red cross. So we can assume that we got blue diamond right here and blue diamond right there. And then we have our we have our open short. Takes about, 98 days. And then the price falls down about 52%. So what does that mean for us now? Well, we're looking at something around this, just because I think this is more realistic. I think 20K will hold, barring any terrible disaster, financial disaster, or breakout of real world war. That would be disastrous for all markets, and then I'll be looking at a lot lower targets, maybe even down here to the TBO showing me on the weekly here. We have support at, 12,000 and 11,000. I mean, that makes sense if the whole market's, every single market's tanking. Bitcoin is not immune. So anyway, as far as market cycles go, I'm expecting a drop down here to 20,000. It makes the most sense. That's where we'll find our bottom. And that's what we're waiting for as far as capitulation goes. So that's the easy story. That's the long-term deal with that. So with the TBO, when we look at the monthly time frame and we look at our RSI, I share this a lot, and I've been sharing this for a while in the Better Traders Club, so I'm comfortable sharing it now with everybody else. Believe me, there's stuff I'm not sharing with you here on YouTube that I only share with people in the Better Traders Club, and they know exactly what I'm talking about. So looking at RSI, the relative strength index, we can see that when this orange line, the metric, comes down here to about below this line of 35 or 40, this tends to be the bottom of the bear market. So here's January 1st, 2015, and ironically, January 1st, 2019. Now, I don't expect this to take all the way here. I'm expecting this to happen a lot sooner. But again, I'm looking for RSI to cross below 35, and to me, that's going to be the bottom. The last thing that we're looking for is a capitulation move. So a capitulation move is typically when we see bullish confirmation that that was the bottom. For instance, like this. This is our bullish confirmation right here, where Bitcoin moved up 30%, or even in one day, it moved up, what is this? 10% in a day, and it moved up again, and it moved up again. You could even say that this could be capitulation, but it kept falling. We didn't really see Bitcoin tumble anymore. And just because we see capitulation does not mean, I repeat, does not mean that we go up to 1 million right away. It took a long time for Bitcoin to get out of this range. It took 3 months. So it's not going to be like right away. Same thing back in 2014. It took a long time for BTC to get out of this range, but we did have a confirmation that here's the bottom. We have this big move up, and now we have our bottom down here, which it doesn't even come close to. But you can see the price of BTC stays sideways for 286 days, almost a year. So I mentioned this in a recent video, and I just wanted to clarify. When we capitulate, we're going to be moving sideways for a while. We might see a mini bull run, particularly for alts, but BTC might make a move back up to retrace to 42K. If we're down at 20K, 42K is a big move. That would be 100+% move, maybe 110% move, right? So it's not unusual to see that, but at the same time, we've seen this on the chart as well. Like in 2019 for Bitcoin, there was a little bit of a mid-cycle rally. Let me go to this chart instead so we can get rid of all the squiggles. Right here. So we were down all the way in the dregs of 3K, and we went all the way up to 14K. That was an amazing mid-cycle move. And it took, what, January to June? So it took about 6 months. And then there's lots of sideways business. So the beautiful thing about where we are right now is that we're so close, in my opinion, we are so close to the capitulation moment. I'm expecting it to happen, as crazy as this sounds, next week or the week after. So I know, a little bit silly, but that's what I'm expecting as far as the measurements that I'm doing on the TBO and the patterns that I've seen before. So it might take longer. It might happen today. I don't know. But I'm expecting it to follow what it's done in the past. So that's what I'm thinking, next week or the week after. I know, it's crazy. So we'll see. But either way, when we actually capitulate, that's going to be such amazing news for Bitcoin and the crypto market in general, because as soon as we capitulate and find our bottom, then all we can do is go up from there. All of this slow drag down, this bleeding that we've been experiencing ever since November 2021 has been brutal. We've had these little moments of glory moving up and everyone gets excited, but only to fall down further. So many tokens have fallen and dropped 70, 80, some 90% in value. So it's no surprise that the crypto market is depressed and it is very much bearish. So the beauty of reaching capitulation is that now this is our reset. So I'm ready for that bounce down to 20K to do a reset and then to move up. So I could be very much wrong in this, but that's what I'm saying and that's what I'm sticking to. So, okay. All right. So let's talk about Ethereum. So Ethereum has been brutal. I don't understand why it's drooping and dragging so bad. I made a small transaction on MetaMask recently, and the gas fees were like $7. It was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. I remember when it was like $100 or $200 at, back here when the market was just insane and raging. So the fact that it's dropped so much, again, another sign that we are so close to the bottom. So we are at this strong line of support, as you can see here by the TBO. Let me turn off volume so it's clear. So this green line right here is our TBO support line. Let me see. Yes, I made a video about this week. Just for reference, this TBO support line works in a bear market. So this line is great. The longer the line, the stronger the confirmation is. And that's exactly what I'm talking about right here. This is a super long line, so it is strong support. But just because it's long doesn't mean it's going to stay strong forever. And eventually it will turn red, which turns into resistance. So compared to BTC, Ethereum just made a huge rip. I mean, this is insane. Granted, it's a long amount of time, like 2 years plus, but to move up 5700%, 5,739% to be exact, is crazy. So I still think there's downside to Ethereum. I think it makes a lot more sense for it to fall down to $1,000 if Bitcoin does fall down to that $20,000 target. So Ethereum is still going to take a beating, just like everything else is going to. So it's holding this line for now. It's pretty amazing. It literally kissed the line right there, moved up, then it's fallen down. So yeah, the thing you have to understand too about all of this stuff that I'm drawing on here, even with Bitcoin, the important thing to understand about support and resistance, and this is something that I didn't understand fully when I started trading crypto back in 2018, is that if you look at the chart for Bitcoin in 2018, specifically in the spring and the summer, where 6K was this magnet for the price, and everyone thought, oh, it's hitting it so many times, it must be strong. Well, unfortunately, so many people were very much uneducated about support and resistance, and that they thought, well, it's holding, that means it's going to hold forever, right? Where actually what happens in reality is that the more a support or resistance is hit, the more touches it has, then the weaker it becomes. So we saw this happen with that 6K line in 2018. That was a brutal fall from 6K to 3K. We're seeing it happen with Bitcoin. We can see it happening here. We can see it happening literally right where we are right now. All these wicks down here to this range of 30K. And you can see we wicked into 30K so many times. We cracked below and then we moved above. Look where we are now. Compare this to what's happening now. Really wide range because people are a little bit in disbelief and the market's still alive and it's still kicking and still exciting. It did take a lot of time last summer to get out of that range, but now look at this. It's just so constricted. It's so depressed. There's a huge lack of volume for buyers and sellers. So the more we knock on this door right there, and now we have a new one down here at 26, the more we touch it, the weaker it becomes. So talking about Ethereum, yeah, it's amazing. It bounced off this line, but it's also done it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. It's only a matter of time until it touches it again and then breaks, and then it keeps falling. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about something else. So Tron, TRX, I posted this on Twitter and I thought it'd be fair to give an update. I think, and I feel like I talked about this last week, but this one has just been an amazing chart. Mainly because it is so inverted to Bitcoin. And I understand that there's news for Tron in regards to their stablecoin. I wish them all the best. I'm not touching it at all. That's insanity. And let me go ahead and remove my drawing. So it's just weird how basically Tron decoupled from Bitcoin back here on May 1st. And instead of falling down, 17% from then, it's actually up 29%. And I've been in a trade and just holding it. And for now, it's still doing an amazing job of holding this trend line. It's incredible. But if you remember that video that I made recently about power and what happens when you break a trend line. So we are looking at that right now, where it's not a pretty trend line. It's actually really dirty. Even if I drew it like this, it's not that good, to be honest. It really is more like a hand-drawn line. So you can see it going parabolic, which isn't good. For anyone that's new to trading, a parabola, when we see the price slowly start to escalate higher and higher and higher and higher, and it just goes straight up, the faster something shoots up like this, the harder it falls down. We always want to focus on charts that have slow, gradual movements. Admittedly, we're going to see in a bear market, this is normal to see a parabola where it's going and then it really cranks up. You can see that angle, it goes so high, so fast. The amount of time it takes for it to move up in 5 days, it moves up 125% compared to over here. It took 32 days to go up 45. So that's those are the kinds of movements we want to be really careful of. We're not in that exact situation yet, but I'm definitely watching it. Now, the beauty with using smart trade on 3 commas is that I can take profits on the way up, which I have. So now I'm just waiting to see, is this larger formation going to work out? And the larger formation I'm talking about is this right here. So this line and this line is making a wedge. My hope is that maybe it falls down a little bit and then it goes to test and retest and then breaks above. Again, remember what I said about touch. So the more touch points we have on a line like this of support or resistance, it's good. And it's going to be weak, 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 and then pow. And then a chart like this could really take off, especially whether you don't like me saying it or not. I mean, it's a garbage token. I mean, even the founder, Justin Sun, admitted it's a garbage token. So that means that it's susceptible to pumps, which is great. But if the whole market is dumping, is it going to pump? Now, I do want to say, and I think I said this in a previous video too, I feel like I'm repeating myself so much, but it doesn't hurt to repeat myself, especially when it's good stuff. When we see Bitcoin fall, like we're looking at the chart for TRX for Tron, there will always be these weird outliers that are not doing what the rest of the market is doing. This does not give you license to go all in on Tron or anything else. That's the worst idea. You should never go all in on anything. But there are ways to hedge your portfolio, and there will be charts that are going to move up when everything else is tanking. It's the weirdest thing, but that's crypto. And the reason why it happens, this is my theory, is that crypto is still such a new market and it is so emotionally driven and emotionally susceptible. So people are in it to make some big crazy gains all the time. So what do most people do? Well, if they're not using TradingView, they're on an exchange and they're just buying and trading on exchange, right? So on exchanges, what do you see at the very top? Well, on like the front page, you see the top movers over the last 24 hours and the top losers, right? The top gainers, the ones that have had the biggest profits. So if you keep seeing that same token over and over and over on the front page, it actually has a higher chance of continuing to go up or to stay green, even if the whole market is falling. I've seen this time and time again over my 4 years of trading in crypto. It's insane. It's really weird because you would assume that because the crypto market in general is falling, everything should fall. It's not the case. In alternative markets like Bitcoin. So like, for example, let's look at the chart for TRX BTC. That one, and I haven't even seen it, but I know that one should be raging. Yeah. So it broke out of a really big one. Holy moly. And you notice here, the TBO did an incredible job. Look at this on the daily time frame for the TBO. We got a breakout symbol right there, the white dot, and then another one, and then another one. When we get 3 TBO breakouts in a row on the daily time frame, that's when charts, that's when they blow up in the best possible way. I mean, look at what's happened to the price action for Tron on the BTC market from here. So even just after the third one, it's shot up as high as 51%, and now it's at like 41%. That's amazing. It's actually happened to Bitcoin back in November of 2020, right there. Same exact thing. We got it's not exactly 3 in a row, but it's real close. What happened after that? Well, there's a huge moon launch. Lots of other factors in play. We can also see it happening here, and then it falls down. I get it. But when the cloud and the TBO and everything is set up in a certain way, it's like this grand, incredible setup. And I've seen it happen a lot. So I'm seeing that happen for, why did I go back to myself? You don't want to see me. But I'm seeing this happen for Tron. Here we go. We got our 3 breakouts. The price shoots up 100%. 3 breakouts. The price takes a little bit of a dip and then it shoots up 200%. This one is late. See how high this breakout is compared to everything else? So this one, it should have been down here, but it was a little bit late. So we're looking at TRX BTC. That's why things look silly. Here we go. So boom, bazoom, badoom. This is a great place for it to happen right after our open long, and it just shoots up. So let's go ahead. I want to talk about these two before I check the comments and we call it a day, because I do try to keep these short compared to the Better Traders Club live streams, which I should say they are way longer, like at least an hour and a half plus. You can find out about that more on thebettertraders.com, and you go to club and you can read all about it. And there are tons of tools, live streams, lots and lots of stuff, private server, all that crazy stuff. And you can find out more about the TBO as well on our website. And I do want to say that I am starting to finally get my life back together a little bit in regards to being more active on my public server. So this is my public Discord server. You can join it in the description of this video down below. And I'm taking bits and pieces from what I post in the Better Traders Club here, just to give you an idea of what kind of stuff is being shared. Like this call about short-term rally, but it's probably going to fall down. The stop loss hunting alert, which was triggered. Well, actually, I'll just show it to you on the chart. It'd be a lot easier. Let me see. And then I'll go over here. Pop up. Oh, where is it? Here we go. So this is our stop loss hunting alert. It lets us know when there's going to be volatility in the next 12 to 20. Sorry. Let's see. What is this? Yeah, 24 to 48 hours. Good grief. So it doesn't always mean that the market's going to tank, but you can see where it was triggered and Bitcoin wasn't doing anything. And after it was triggered, Bitcoin shot up. What, 11%? And then it's fallen. This is normal. This is why we have this alert. It lets us know when we're going to see some volatility in the market. That's the whole point of it. So anyway, I shared that in Discord. In the Better Traders Club, I'm sharing a lot of stuff, but I can't show you everything. But again, it's the same concept. I'm showing that stuff over there. So if you want to know more about that, about the club and the TBO, you got to go over to thebettertraders.com. Good. Oh, I have to hide that for a second. Let's see. And I do want to say that I love the comments that I saw on the Better Traders podcast I did with Varun last week. Someone posted a comment saying like, there's no such thing as hands-free profit. I do want to gently point out that is exactly what the TBO switch is, that we have in Mastering Passive Income. A couple of people made some pretty tasty gains. And again, hands-free. We set up the bot. I show you how to do it. And for this trading pair, it shot up 37% with leverage. So that's a pretty nice little move, if you don't mind me saying. Not like every single move is profitable, but I mean, hands-free profit, not all the time, but hands-free trading, absolutely yes. That's why I love this stuff. That's the only way I can do everything I'm doing on YouTube, is because I have bots running in the background. Okay, that's enough. Let me go ahead and talk about those other two charts on TradingView, and then I'll look at those questions and get back to those. So DAP, I don't know how else to say that other than DAP. So this one is starting to droop. That's okay. It did break its trend line. It's pretty clear. Let me do it like this instead. Dirty, very, very dirty, but you can see where it broke. And then it found support and it moved up 25%, and now it's starting to droop again. So what happens? Well, I'm waiting for a smart trade to close. But the interesting thing to note is that on a little bit faster time frame, like 4 hours, we can see when it fell down. And the reason why I entered, and again, I think I just posted a video about this, but just to reiterate, when you're A/B trading and the chart falls, when you see a new burst of volume, that's basically going to be your new floor. So you can actually trade that range after that happens. So I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen next, hoping to make a little profit. I'm going to protect it and be really cautious because I still think that DAPT could fall. I mean, that's just how these A/B trading charts work. I mean, look at the history of the chart. Moves up, pumps, and then it drops, pumps, drops, pumps, drops, pumps, drops, pumps, drops. So I'm waiting for another good drop until another good pump. Okay, Power has had some really, really good moves. I sincerely hope that all of you that copied and have been running the Power bot you at least watched my updates about what to do when the price falls down and adding extra funds, because you should be out of your deal right now. I'm not. It kills me because I layered my safety trade. I didn't think it would drop that far down, unfortunately. So I layered my safety trade around here. So now I'm waiting for the price to go back up above 1,000 Satoshis, but it actually pumped above it. What was this? Yesterday. I was so excited when I saw that, and then it fell. So it's okay. It's just going to take its sweet time. And even the guy teaching the course, you know, I'm not going to make a perfect decision on my ad funds order every single time. And that's okay because I'm patient. I know how these charts work. I'm just waiting. So anyway, it's still fun to see this one play out. And I expect it basically to make a new range or maybe to recover its previous range. But so far, so good. It looks like it's doing a little bit of something like this, where it might have a little bit of fall down and then make a move up and then return back to its former glory. Okay. So, let's see. Can I talk about DCA in ADA in Cardano? Sure. Let me pull up Cardano. So I don't follow too much of like project news. I really do just trade based on the volatility in the charts. But I have heard that the reason that Cardano moved up recently is that there's a fork or there's some smart contract or there's some good news happening. And it's obvious because you can see the burst of volume here on the daily time frame. The chart moved up over 50% in 3 days. Is an amazing move, especially in this market. And it's holding right now, which is amazing. So if you are talking about DCA for ADA, that means that I can assume that you are someone that, here, let me hide this, someone that maybe you have a bot deal that started just a bit north of there, right? Maybe you have a bot deal that started up here and now you're just waiting. Well, DCA is going to work when you have extra funds. If you don't have extra funds, you got nothing left to do other than wait. The time to turn on a short bot was back here in December and January. This is not the best time to turn on a short bot, even though I think Bitcoin could still fall. We're just so close, in my opinion, to the bottom of this bear market. Like I said, I could be completely wrong, and I'm okay with that. But I don't know. It's a little bit risky to turn on a short bot here compared to back over here. Like when we broke support here, would have been the best time. So when we're talking about DCA and where to DCA, actually there is a free DCA calculator right here by Queen's Lambone, which is fantastic. It does require a little bit of setup. So you have to enter in your entry price. So let's say we entered in 1.2. Our take profit is set to 5%. Our base order size is 10, 20. We're going to do, it doesn't really matter. Actually, we're just going to do no safety trades. This is actually what I do a lot with smart trade. Let's say that I put 500 into my trade and I have no safety trades. So essentially it's just a smart trade. So if I want to add more funds at the current price, I want to see how could that positively impact my take profit, as in average everything down. So I'm going to come over here to this. I want to add an order at 56.44 and I'm going to add an equal amount. So you can see that it greatly averages down my average order price, which is awesome. And if I increase that times 2, maybe you don't have that much, but you can see it averages it down a lot. It still does mean the price has to move up another 20%, which is a lot. So in that case, it might be better to look for a deeper buy opportunity at, like, instead of 46, maybe try to get in at 49. But again, the whole idea is that you want to get this average down buy price as low as possible. So sometimes that might mean having to wait for some really low prices that aren't even there yet to see if the price falls down to 39 or if it falls down here to even 41.3 again, right? If it falls down to this wick and the price recovers and bounces up, there's a really good chance that you can exit out in profit, which is this green line right here. This is your average buy. This is your take profit. So there are tools out there that are free for figuring out your your dollar cost average, well, your average down percentage, or what it would look like if the price fell down, how much it would take to recover, all that fun stuff. Let's see. Anything else? Quick stretch. Nice. That was a good little stretch. No pops, but I mean, still good. So no, I don't see anything else, and that's good because it's 35 minutes into the stream. So that means gotta cut it because I got lots of editing to do today. But as always, thanks for hanging out with me for these live streams. It's great. Please feel free to join my public Discord server. I'll try to be more active there to post a little bit of what I'm posting in the Better Traders Club. So that way you can get updates on the market more regularly than like never, which is what I've been doing. I've been focusing all of my attention on updating course content and then focusing now on the club and club content and bots and all that fun stuff, and then editing lots of stuff for YouTube and even other stuff that you're going to hear about soon. There's a ton of stuff happening in the background. So it's like the old saying goes, if you don't hear from me, it's not because I'm sleeping, it's because I'm working my butt off. Like I'm busy, I'm building in this time of being quiet, even though I'm posting a lot on YouTube and stuff like that. So anyway, enjoy this little, well, whatever's happening with Bitcoin right now. I'm waiting. I'm waiting patiently for that drop to 20K. I'm waiting for capitulation. I got a video coming out on Friday that's going to be really helpful. It's a different type of video. I'm in my office but not here, but I strongly suggest you watch that video just to give you a better idea of what to expect. Once we capitulate, then you can start accumulating, and then you want to start distributing all of the tokens that you've accumulated over the next 2-year period. And that's when I think we're going to be done with this bear market, because the next halving event is projected rather to be May in 2024. So we got 2 years left of craziness, but it's also 2 years to accumulate. So anyway, you'll watch the video, you'll understand. And until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.